Now, before I begin with this week's review, I would have to say that the last two chapters of Fairy Tale were a bit bad, and I did get a little bit pissed off at them. The Jura lost in one hit. He gets taken down one hit with the Thunder Punch. Flux is quoting Natsu. I'm all fired up. What? Fairy Tale winning in the tournament and just your first teacher. This is how Fairy Tale wins. This is how they win. Just standing there, doing nothing, staring at Sting, and Sting, fuck Sting. Fuck him. He's like, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna win this. And he's like staring at me. Oh my god, I can't do this. I'm so poor days. I'm like, fuck you, Sting. Fuck you. Yeah. Oh, and also the plot armor. The literal plot armor Erza used to beat Minerva. Depends on lots of magic. You know what? Fuck Fairy Tale. Fuck Hiromashima. Fuck this stupid tournament. Fuck this arc. Fuck this series. But you know, with 323 came out, I was a bit reluctant at first. Now this chapter was actually kind of interesting and honestly way better than the last two chapters. But I can't help but feel like Hiromashima is gonna screw this up, and I do not want to get my hopes up. So Hiromashima, if you do screw this up, may God have mercy on your soul. Hey guys, Looter Spiral 1127 here, bringing you Fairy Tale Chapter 323, A Returning Shadow. Yes, I decided not to drop Fairy Tale and continue reading it, at least until the next arc starts and becomes better. So the chapter begins with Fairy Tale celebrating their victory at the Grand Magic Games, and Sting and Lecter are happy that they're back together again. I'm still mad at him. It's been a week and I'm still mad at this. I'm still disappointed in Sting. And Lecter, I still have no idea where the hell he came from, or why Minerva suddenly teleported him back. So not only Fairy Tale is celebrating their victory, but also the other losing teams starting to congratulate them. Meanwhile, with Frosh and Rogue is deciding that he wants to become a better person, who will cherish and treasure his friends. Now, the way this chapter was leading up to, it seems that most likely Rogue and Sting might join Fairy Tale. Yeah, have all the Dragon Slayers in Fairy Tale. If they do join, that would be 6. I guess if you count Loxus, because he's second generation. But back with Team Fairy Tale, they realized that nobody has seen the signal flare. That means Natsu and the others are still back at the palace with Lucy, and they're starting to get worried. Back with Natsu and the others, again, they are still fighting the Royal Guard and the Gara Knights, and they seem to be struggling a bit. But then all of a sudden, this shadow appears out of nowhere, and it starts consuming all the guards and the Gara Knights. They start sinking into the shadow, and the shadow starts swirling on the ground like it was turning into a whirlpool. So it looks like some sort of dark magic is going on, and it seems Fairy Tale is getting some help. Meanwhile, back with Crime Sorcier, Jalal realized something. Back at the night when he found future Lucy, she said that she arrived on July 4th, but technically it was midnight on July 3rd. Although it would still be July 4th if you think about it. I mean, when it was midnight, it means it's officially July 4th. But anyway, he just realized that, for the past 7 years, they've been sensing this mysterious magical power of the eclipse. And they did sense a bit of that power from future Lucy because she traveled back in time using magic from Zaref's book, otherwise known as the Eclipse. And some of that magic was still lingering on her body. So Zaref had a book called Eclipse, and there is an eclipse gate. Okay, first of all, if Zaref had a book called Eclipse, where the hell did future Lucy get it? And second of all, is Zaref's book the Eclipse Gate, or is it just coincidence that it's called Eclipse? That I'm not getting. What Jalal was trying to explain to Melody is that not only on the night of July the 3rd was when future Lucy appeared, but earlier in that day when Jalal was disguised as Miss Gunn, he was following somebody with the similar mysterious power, except even stronger, which means that there was another person that came from the future through the Eclipse Gate. And it wasn't future Lucy. So future Lucy wasn't an imposter, which I actually thought would be a pretty good plot twist, but what are you gonna do? And apparently the second mysterious person was the same person who had the same mysterious magic that appeared 7 years ago. So this mysterious person, the second person from the future, was the person that came 7 years ago, hence why Jalal was able to sense this mysterious magic for the past 7 years. Meanwhile, back in the palace, Princess Hisui, Darton, and all the guards have gathered at the Eclipse Gate. We're about to unleash Eclipse 2, the Eclipse Cannon, against the 10,000 dragons. Arcadios finally meets up with the princess. Darton tries to apologize on behalf of him and the princess, but Arcadios forgives them both, saying it's complete water under the bridge. Now, the person who traveled back in time, the things that the person said to Princess Hisui is coming true. She is starting to move up with the plan to the second phase. She is not gonna go with the first phase of the plan, which was the whole point was to annihilate Zaref. And then all of a sudden, Arcadios is starting to get, I'm not sure what's the deal with Arcadios here. Because he doubted the words from Hisui, and apparently what he's saying is that when what she says is gonna come true, he is gonna relinquish his life to her. So in other words, he's basically saying, I'm sorry I doubted you, I brought shame to you. In order to atone for this, I want you to kill me. I'm like, what? Why would I know Arcadios is that devoted and dedicated to the princess and all, but I don't think it's worth killing yourself just because you doubted her. I mean, to be honest, if it were me, I would have doubted her too, if you think about it. So Arcadios should not try to point his sword towards his neck and gonna kill himself once everything is gonna come true. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. Now, Arcadios tells Hisui that he met the person from the future, and that future Lucy was completely oblivious to Eclipse 2. But however, the princess, apparently there was some sort of misunderstanding because the princess said that the person knew about Eclipse 2, but then Arcadios is saying, are you telling me that person from the future is lying? I can't think of anything that she gained by deceiving her comrades. And then she was like, whoa, she? The person who traveled back in time and gave me that advice was a man. So the second person that Jalal was following earlier on July 3rd was a male. It wasn't future Lucy, it was a male. All that misunderstanding, all of that could have been easily avoided, that misunderstanding, if the princess referred to the future person as a he, not as the person from the future or the person. I'm just saying that could have been easily avoided. Now, after that shadow had consumed all the Gar knights and the royal guard. Back at with Nuts and the others at the dungeon, they see there was smoke emitting from the dungeon, and they see this shadow from that smoke. And when the smoke clears, you get to see this person with looks like dark and light hair in a ponytail. The hair on the dark side, it looks familiar. No, it's not Zareth, but when you get a good look at it, you'd be like, no way, it can't be. So back with Crime Sorcier, when Jalal realized that there was another person coming from the future, he and Melody, I guess, head towards wherever future Lucy is back at the palace, and he's telling the other two that another person giving off a similar type of magic to the one found on someone who has just used the eclipse. Lucy came from the future to save us. So then what are the motives of the second individual? And we get to see the man who told the princess about Eclipse. Natsu immediately recognizes him, and then on the end of the page we get to see, I am not kidding here, Rogue. What? Oh my god. Rogue was the second person from the future who knew about Eclipse and told the princess everything about it, about the 10,000 dragons appearing to cause destruction, and about the eclipse too. And that is the end of the chapter. Okay, I did not see that coming, but when this shadow appeared and when you get to see the future person's hair, I had a feeling that it was Rogue, but I had no idea that it was really him. Also, his appearance is completely changed. The left half of his hair is light, and the second half of his hair is dark. I mean, like, what? Did Rogue and Sting did the fusion dance? I mean, also he's got new outfit and these markings on his face. So, why is Rogue evil? Better yet, how did Rogue know about the eclipse and then decided to go to the future? I mean, is Rogue evil anyway? And especially weird because, but then it made sense because, I mean, that shadow earlier when Rogue is facing against Gajiel, he was possessed by that shadow, and I guess that shadow really was from Rogue. That would have actually made sense. Now, the question is, why is Rogue evil now? Oh god, please tell me it wasn't because Gajiel let Frost die. That would be so lame. Overall, this chapter was actually really good compared to like the last two god-awful chapters. Hiro Mashima did get me interested of what's to come, but I can't help but feel like he's gonna screw this up. I do not want to get my hopes up for this. But, on the other hand, this does seem kind of promising. Although, we probably have to know about future Rogue's backstory, how he learned about Eclipse and the dragons, and why is he doing all this. Hell, for all we know, maybe Eclipse 2 isn't going to be used to destroy the dragons. He could be saying that to lie to the princess. Maybe using the Eclipse to bring back the dragons. I don't know, but judging from the look on his face, he's definitely gone evil. I mean, the way he's talking, I mean, listen to this. The shadows are fanning out to the past or perhaps to the future, or maybe to the hearts of all the people. Rogue has definitely gone evil. Although what drove him to become evil, I'm not sure. Maybe he was possessed by an evil shadow. Maybe possessed by Zareth. I don't know. But I have to ask, how far into the future did Rogue come from? I mean, was this like years after the tournament? I mean, judging by how long his hair is, I mean, it must have been like several years after the tournament, maybe 7 years. I don't know, but I am looking forward to the next chapter. I'm hoping that the reason why Rogue is turned evil it wasn't something lame like Frost dying. Also, I getting the feeling that maybe the Eclipse 2 not going to be able to destroy the dragons. There's probably more to this eclipse than meets the eye. I was actually hoping the future Lucy would have been an imposter, but I guess not. But I am looking forward to the next chapter, and it is kind of refreshing. So yeah, that's Fairy Tail chapter 323. It was definitely quite the improvement from the disaster. I'm Lunar Spiral 27, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.